Hey everyone, it's LaShonda from Labors of Love, and I'm here with another Therapy Thursday. Today I want to talk about be you. So that's what my shirt says. It says be you, they'll adjust, right? I bought this shirt, I don't know, I think maybe prior to quarantine. So I've had it for a little while, and I was intrigued when I saw the shirt. But I really feel like I'm just now starting to live it. And I wanted to just check in about my journey on being me. What that's meant is I have not only had to be introspective and aware of some of my patterns, but I've had to put things in place to start challenging those patterns and establishing muscle to break those patterns. And so what that's looked like for me is occasionally something will happen and I will pause my authentic response to go through this very in-depth algorithm of trying to figure out what other people might think or how they might respond. Now, this has been part of my survival strategy for as long as I can remember, so I don't think about it. This is not something that I consciously do, but as I have been doing my own healing work, the power of the pause has been very important to me, slowing down enough to really focus on what's happening right now. And let me tell y'all, my life moves so dramatically slower in everything because I'm implementing these strategies of slowing down, not just responding, not just reacting, not just, moving in these patternized ways that I've engaged with the world thus far, but really evaluating my own internal responses. So like, what is my body doing? Becoming so intimately familiar with my central nervous system. When I move into flee, when I move into fight, when I move into freeze, when I am attempting to flock, when I have moved into faint and collapse, when I'm fawning, like all of those things I'm really working to identify. And throughout that process, what I've realized is that, and don't get me wrong, I've known this, I just didn't know how pervasive it was. I'm externally focused. There is almost never going to be a time where one of my first autonomic responses isn't to look outside of myself in curiosity and sometimes fear about what another person might think, how they might perceive something, and how they might respond. Now, I used to think the very act of thoughts, I wonder what they're going to think. That's no longer the phrasing in my thoughts. Now, what I've discovered is that's because what I'm going to call my inner counsel, they're smart, they're witty, they're wise. They knew that I was growing beyond saying, I wonder what they're going to think. But I found that they are so wise that I didn't actually stop being externally focused and wondering what people were going to think. I just learned to reframe the question so it seemed like I wasn't actually altering my behavior for other people. But I caught on. So now that I've discovered that, I recognize in some of the most small ways, and I'm not saying, I don't know. I feel like there are people out there who are going to get it, who understand me, because it's really hard to explain that it's not like I arrive to every situation and go, oh no, are they going to like me? No, that feels a little too on the nose. What I mean is expectations of how I show up being the driving motivator in decisions like, what am I going to wear today? Not based on what I want to wear or necessarily even here's the activity, so this is what I'm going to wear, but if I'm doing this activity, here are the expectations of what I should wear. I hope y'all are following me, because this is so real, but it's so hard to explain. So anyway, as I discovered that about myself, here are two tactics, two things I've put into practice. One, the first thing when one of these thoughts emerge is I have to identify the face or the voice of the person who is speaking to me, because it's not me. For so long, I was a shape-shifting people pleaser, convinced that the things that I was doing in order to shapeshift into people please were my idea, that they were part of who I am, that they were my identity. It wasn't. That's that wise counsel again, trying to convince me it was me. So now when I have a thought, ooh, don't wear that, I force myself to go, whose voice is that? Or who's talking to me? And I have to envision their face. And when I do, then I'm able to go, you don't have authority in my life. You don't get to tell me what to do. And so that's one tactic that I'm starting. And I'm also starting to see patterns, whose voice is showing up, whose face is showing up, always based on some historical things. And then the second thing, once I've identified that and I'm able to say, you don't get to make this decision. Sometimes I say it with a neck roll and an eye roll. You don't get to tell me what to do. And sometimes it's just very genuine. You don't get to determine this for me. The very next thing that I do is I ask, what do you want? Just that simple. And my response is almost always, oh, well, I want to wear this. Then wear that. Oh, I want to do this. Then do that. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all, because it's changing my life, y'all, but it's slow. It's arduous. It's annoying. I want to say I've been doing this for how long, but hey, steady on the grind. Okay. So I just wanted to share that. Maybe you have a variation of something you're already doing. Maybe you've never even thought about it, but I wanted to share that we have the capacity to live our true, authentic lives. Be you. But I don't say that like it's just this simple task that you just wake up one day and do. But I'm saying that we can work towards being our genuine selves. And guess what? They will adjust. If you want to reach out to me, you have suggestions for content, please reach me at www.thelaborsoflove.com. We're on all the major social media outlets. Head over to the YouTube channel where we house all of these Therapy Thursday videos. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Labors of Love Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast. Until we connect again, you all be well.